Welcome back into another edition of Prime Sports World, and it is XFL Monday as we are breaking down the semifinal recap that was almost 2 weeks ago now, and then we're going to talk about the championship, which is this Sunday. So very good games over the last I guess a week ago, 10 days ago. We're going to break it down for you guys today. I'm David On Point Huffman. Please like, share, and subscribe to the podcast. And if you want to join us and talk some XFL action, I have shared the StreamYard link to all of the places, including the main Prime Sports World Facebook page. So join me, talk some XFL. I'd love to have somebody else on the show, to bounce some ideas off of. Thank you very much for liking the page. My aunt, yes, thank you. Aunt Judy, I appreciate you checking out us here at Prime Sports World. We got one viewer on Facebook and one viewer on Twitch. So if you guys want to come and talk a little XFL action, you're more than welcome to do so. We got a lot of stuff to talk about when it comes to the XFL. Real quick, let's just jump through the awards here. Hold on, sorry. I gotta click through all of this. Hold on one second. So Jordan Tiamo, XFL Offensive Player of the Year. Pita Tapa Menu. I'm sorry, a Vegas Vipers linebacker named the XFL Defensive Player of the Year. Darius Shepard, who got an NFL tryout. We'll talk about him here. Here in a little bit later in the show. Got an NFL tryout, kick return, special teams player of the year. Pretty solid for him. And then Reggie Barlow, head coach of the DC Defenders, named the head coach of the year for the XFL in 2023. Let's take a look at the all XFL team. Quarterback, Jordan Tiamo. Running back, Abraham Smith. Wide receiver, Deontay Burton. Akeem Butler, St. Louis. Battlehawks, Lucky Jackson, DC Defenders. Ja'Cour Pearson, CLC Dragons. Cody Latimer, tight end. I always thought Cody Latimer was more of a wide receiver, but whatever. Offensive lineman, Liam Fortnell. Steven Gonzalez, Jared Jones-Smith, Colin Kelly, Alex Moletti, and Mike Pensuki, I guess. Yeah. Defensive side, Drew Beasley, defensive San Antonio Brahmas, Devin Bellamy, Austin Falalu, Jack Felfin, Devontae Lambert, Kayvon Patton, Deontay Scott, San Antonio Brahmas, linebackers Trent Harris, Pita Tapamiano, I think that's how it's pronounced, defensive player of the year. Jordan Williams, then defensive back Deontay Anderson, Luke Barco, AJ Harris, LeVart Hare, Michael Joseph. And then special teams, they got John Parker Romo, who kicked a billion field goals, Daniel Whelan, DC Defenders punter, and Darius Shepard, St. Louis Battlehawks. So yeah, and then the play of the year, it's that fake punt touchdown by the Seattle Battlehawks to Jennings for a touchdown. So very cool awards here from the XFL. I love it. So very much. Thank you very much for checking us out here, Prime Sports World. We're basically one of your number one hubs here for XFL. So we've covered it since the very beginning, every single week. So let's get into the matchups here. Let's talk about them. So first, semifinals results in a bit of a shocker. The Renegades basically run the Roughnecks out of the building in the first semifinals matchup. This game was on Saturday. The Renegades won this game 26-11. Luis Perez finally looked like it was clicking on the offensive side for him. 19 of 27, 289 yards and 3 touchdowns. Devin Smith, 24 carries for 94 yards, no touchdowns on the ground. And then Javonte Payton, 5 catches, 121 yards and 2 touchdowns. And then Brandon Arcanano had another touchdown in through the air. And then on the other side, Roughnecks, just a really disappointing, deflating way to end their season, as this is a team that was really just, clicking on all cylinders. It's just disappointing to see their season end like this. Sorry, hold on. I got to touch it real quick. All right. Back to yeah. And the Renegades, the Roughnecks, just a really disappointing way to end the season. Really floundered out of here the way. Cole McDonald, probably one of his worst games of the season at one of the most inopportune times to have it. 9 of 25, 82 yards and a pick. Brandon Silvers, 3 for 6. He really fell apart as he was at one point, he was like the best quarterback in the XFL. Just didn't work out that. Max Borghi, 7 for 48, no touchdowns. And Jeremy Cox had the lone touchdown for the Roughnecks. Devontae Burton, 4 catches, 57 yards. It's just disappointing to see the Roughnecks season end kind of on a whimper here. They were basically demolished from beginning to end, sideline to sideline, goalpost to goalpost, whatever you want to say. This game was not close. 419 yards for the Arlington Renegades, 225 for the Houston Roughnecks. 1 turnover apiece, 4 more first downs for Arlington as they win time of possession. And then, as we talked about, Roughnecks, they actually did a good job staying out of their own way. I mean, 2 penalties in this game for 15 yards, but they just couldn't capitalize. This is a team that on offense just really fell apart down the stretch. Basically, since they won their first 4 games of the season, and then after that, basically just laid a goose egg for the rest of the year. Kind of hate to see it, but this is what happens. So you play one game, get to move on. Everybody wants to debate if the Renegades should even be here based on their regular season record, but you can't take it away from them. They put up the best performance of the season at the time when they needed to have it. Good win for them and a good win for that coaching staff there for the Renegades. On the other side, on Sunday, we had the Sea Dragons going into DC and taking on the Defenders. And while the Seattle Sea Dragons was a very good, fun story. The DC Defenders are just the best team in this league. They go on to win 37-21. Ben DiNucci played well in this game, well enough to get him a tryout for the Denver Broncos, as we're going to talk about here in a few minutes. But 31-48, 295 yards, 3 touchdowns. He also led the team in rushing, which is a common trend for the Seattle Sea Dragons. Juwan Green, 8 catches for 89 yards and 2 touchdowns. Ja'Cour Pearson had another touchdown. Josh Gordon, all the hype around him when they first brought him into the XFL, kind of a mess season for him. In this game, 4 catches for 23 yards. Jordan Tiamo on the other side continued his brilliance. Even though he was a little up and down here in this game, 19 of 31, 258, 2 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. Abraham Smith continues to be dominant on the ground. 23 carries, 48 yards and a touchdown. And Cameron Harris, 5 carries for 25 yards, 5 yards a carry, if you can do math there, and 2 touchdowns for him. Brylan Moore, 4 for 80. Lucky Jackson had a touchdown. Ethan Wolf had a touchdown in the air, as DC went on to win this game pretty handily. This is, they basically took the lead 9-3. Seattle was able to tie the game up in the second quarter, but after halftime, it was basically all DC. They scored a touchdown on their opening drive. They go up 15. They score another touchdown on their next drive. They go up 20. They go up 21. They score again in the fourth quarter. They go up 29-9, and that's basically all she wrote. Seattle did try with 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter, but it just wasn't enough. If DC packed on another one, make it 37-21. And DC, even though they had 2 turnovers in this game, but they won every other statistical category. Almost 100 yards more total offense. They had 12 more first downs in this game. They also dominated time possession by nearly 5 minutes. And that's what happens if you can't run the football the way the Seattle Sea Dragons have been unable to run the football so far this season. This is kind of what happens. Also, the undisciplined nature of this team. 13 penalties for 125 yards for the Seattle Sea Dragons. I don't care who you're playing. That's too many penalties. And when you have play that's so erratic sometimes, there's no way to get over 13 for 125. And I also understand that, Seattle probably couldn't run the football that much because they were down by so much so early. You basically had to rely on the arm of Ben DiNucci, and you just couldn't get it done. And Jordan Tiamo basically outplayed Ben DiNucci in this game. He had more passing yards than Ben DiNucci. Is as good as he's been. Probably should have been the runner-up for the MVP. I guess they don't actually give the MVP out. They just give Offensive Player of the Year, which is weird, right? It's kind of weird. So, yeah. But congratulations to Jordan Tiamo. Love to see it. I imagine that some of these DC Defender guys and Renegades will probably get an NFL tryout whenever their season does end next weekend. But we'll see. Moving on to the game balls of the week. And this is actually, I'm not going to give out an individual game ball. I'm actually going to give out a game ball to every single player in the XFL that is getting an NFL tryout, either with an NFL team. And this is the whole reason that, the XFL was created. It's an opportunity for these guys that were out of the NFL, or just they wanted to keep their dream alive. You go to the XFL, you play well enough, and you get an opportunity to play in the NFL. Just some of the notable names here. Kevin Atkins, defensive lineman, was on the Battlehawks, now going to Atlanta. Luke Barco, who I just mentioned as a first-team All-Pro, or whatever, the All-Pro, yeah. He's a cornerback. He was on the San Antonio Brahmas. He's going to the Cleveland Browns for a tryout. Akeem Butler, who was virtually unguardable in the XFL at the wide receiver position for the St. Louis Battlehawks. He's getting a tryout for the Pittsburgh Steelers, a team that could use some wide receiver. Jack Cohen, quarterback for the San Antonio Brahmas. He's actually getting 2 tryouts for the Seattle Seahawks and the New York Jets, as they look for somebody to try to back up Aaron Rodgers there. As I don't think he'll be Zach Wilson. Ben DiNucci, my guy, Ben DiNucci, quarterback, Seattle Sea Dragons. He's going to get a tryout for the Denver Broncos. Maybe he can ride better than Russell Wilson did there. Jacquez Patrick, who we talk about a lot here on this channel, running back up for the San Antonio Brahmas. He's getting a tryout for the Denver Broncos as well. He's a good player. Carlson Rambo, another wide receiver for the Orlando Guardians, going to get a tryout for the Philadelphia Eagles. Darius Shepard, who won Special Teams Player of the Year, he's getting a tryout for the Detroit Lions. Cam Sutton, a tight end. Jordan Thomas, a tight end. Orlando, Vegas, respectively. Cam Thomas is getting a tryout with the Atlanta Falcons. And then Jordan Thomas, Carolina Panthers, a team that could really use the tight end button. So if he can make it work there, There's some offensive tackles. Barry Wesley, offensive tackle for the Seattle Sea Dragons. He gets to try out for the Atlanta Falcons. This is the reason that this league exists. They wanted to have an opportunity to give these guys a platform to showcase their skills and give them a real opportunity to get back into the National Football League. I love to see it. I also imagine that Jordan Tiamo will be getting a tryout here. I imagine, let's see who else is on a couple of these other teams that are in championship game here. Abraham Smith, the running back. Lucky Jackson, another guy I'm sure will get a tryout with an NFL team. These guys are they're going to for sure get NFL opportunities. Jacor Pearson maybe will get one as well. You just love to see these guys who want to keep their dream alive. They take a shot at playing in this league, and then they get rewarded by, getting a chance to play in the NFL again. So I love to see it. And then Saturday night, May 13th, we got the championship game in San Antonio at the Alamo Dome, where the Renegades will be, I guess the Defenders are technically the home team, but this game is in San Antonio for the XFL championship. The Renegades going up against the DC Defenders. The line is DC has a 6-point edge. The over-under is 49.5. These two teams played twice in the regular season. Or just once, actually. Sorry, just one time. I do not remember what the final score was. They won that game 28-26. So actually, it was a pretty damn good game and pretty close. So maybe we'll get an exciting, entertaining matchup here. I unfortunately do not think that'll be the case. I think that this will be a very easily win game for the DC Defenders. They're just better than Arlington. They're 8-1 for a reason. They've only lost one regular season. 9-1. Sorry. They've only lost one regular season game for a reason. They're balanced, super balanced on offense. They're super balanced on defense. This is a team that's going to win the XFL championship. That's my prediction. Let me know down in the comments section who you think is going to win the XFL championship. Do you think it's going to be the Arlington Renegades or the DC Defenders? I'm taking DC. I think Jordan Tiamo is going to have an amazing game in here. But if the Renegades really want to have an opportunity to make this interesting, they have to muck up this game. Like, they have to make it messy. Devon Smith, their starting running back, has to have more than 12 carries in this game. Luis Perez has to be efficient the way he was against the Roughnecks. He throw 3 touchdowns to get more opportunity into the offense. They got to make a kind of a dirty, messy game. Limit DC Defenders the amount of possessions that are able to have in this game. That's their only chance to win. DC Defenders are just a better, more superior XFL team, and that will showcase, I think, on Saturday. But yeah, let me know in the comment section who you think is going to win the XFL championship. Also, let me know what you think, what you thought about the XFL as a whole. I've very much enjoyed the XFL. I think they've done a good job with the league. I think they've done a good job with presenting it in a way that's interesting. I think they've done a better job than the USFL so far. The USFL needs to probably have these teams in their own home cities. That's just my honest opinion. But the XFL, as for the XFL, I love this XFL project. I love the design of it. I think it's only going to get better. I am really curious to see what they'll do with like a quote unquote draft. Imagine they'll do a draft. Like, it'll probably be the players that didn't get drafted in the NFL. They'll get an opportunity to play in the XFL. But yeah, this has been a very fun league, a very fun season. We'll be back next Monday to break down the championship game for you and kind of talk about the season as a whole. I've been David Huffman. Please like, share, and subscribe to the podcast. We're taking tomorrow off because I'm going to a Tin Caps game here in Fort Wayne. Wednesday, we'll be back with the crossover. We're going to talk about some awards as the NBA is giving out all their awards now. So Joel Embiid won MVP. We're going to break all that down for you. This has been Prime Sports World. You all have a good day. And if you didn't know, we bring the heat. We'll see you guys all on Wednesday. Have a good one. Be safe.